This is eGeniuses Tech Show podcast, and last time we said that that one was episode 7, but actually this one is episode 7.
Yeah.
So anyway, today we're going to be talking about a few things that we're interested in, and we wanted to do something that we hope that you're interested in. So just to give you a quick overview, Jose, what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about Picasa, photo uploader and sharing website.
All right.
That's what I have
And
for today.
Angela, what do you got?
I am just going to be quickly going over the importance of a small website for small businesses or professionals and how important it is.
And of course, for the people that are just tuning in now, Angela does the web design in-house here for eGeniuses, and she runs the House of Ruxpin. So she's our web design person. Jose is our tech, and he also does DJing. So if you ever need an awesome DJ,
have fun with it.
Yeah. So we all do we're all here to do the tech thing, but also, of course, we have our other hobbies and things that we do that we specialize in. So for me, I kind of run the business here as far as the eGeniuses, but I also like working on the computers. So my work is my play. And what I'm going to be talking about today is, speaking of work and play, is the new Microsoft Surface, which is a new tablet/laptop. I don't know what they're trying to do with it exactly, but I think I have an idea and I want to share it with you guys. But first, let's go ahead and
We'll go down the line.
We'll go down the line.
All right, I'll go first. So I have, if you have not heard of this, it's called Picasa. You can, it's a website. It's free with your Google member user ID. You can log into it directly from the Picasa website. It's, I don't know what the website is.
Picasa.google.com.
Okay, Picasa.google.com. You can log in right into it from there. It has all the options that you could use right from the website, and there's also applications for your phone, for Android, for iPhone, and I think for BlackBerry as well. I could be wrong with the BlackBerry. I'm not
Who cares about the BlackBerry?
But
Sorry,
still,
BlackBerry users.
Some people use it. But the really cool thing about this Picasa web photo albums is that you can share it with all the people in your life. You can upload your pictures from your computer, free up some space on your computer, and that way your pictures are saved in the cloud. And in case your computer crashes or anything happens to it, all your pictures and your memories are up in the cloud. You can access it from any computer that has internet, at work, on Starbucks, or whatever. It's integrated with Google Plus, so you can share it to your circles with a specific person. You can tag your friends, tag their faces.
Kind of like Facebook.
Kind of like Facebook, the same way. But the thing that Joey and I were discussing a little bit earlier was that, let's say you're out visiting family or anywhere, and you can just pull out your phone and say, "Hey, look, let me show you my pictures from the wedding or whatever it might be." Instead of having to bring all your printed pictures or a big photo album to carry around, just pull out your phone, and anywhere you're at, here you go. And you want a copy of it? Here, I'll email it to you right here on the spot.
And that's good too, also, because most people, when they show off photos on their phone, it's only photos that they take on their phone. So this is good if you use another camera, like a better camera for events or something.
Also, from your phone, you can have the application for your phone. So when you take a picture, it automatically uploads it to the server.
So
you can set it up. It doesn't always do it automatically, but you have an option to set it up.
So for those that are just starting off, what would be the process? Let's say they just got a digital camera. What would be the process for them to get their stuff onto Picasa and to be able to share it with other people?
Okay, so you would download the desktop application, either for Mac or for PC. And the application asks you which folder you want to select to have as your upload folder. So it could also scan your whole computer for pictures, or you can select which specific folder you want to select. Once it selects it, it starts uploading it, or every time you load new pictures into that folder, it'll synchronize with your Picasa folder.
And there's also an import function.
Yes.
So I've noticed that when you plug in your digital camera or put in the SD card, what'll happen is you can just click the import button and have all the pictures go into Picasa.
Yeah, right away from there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sort of like use Picasa to manage all your photos.
Yeah, it also has you can edit your photos on there, organize photo albums, by different categories, and load it to different social services, social websites.
Okay, so another thing that I've noticed is that Picasa is connected with Google.
Yeah.
Obviously, they bought that company, and so it's integrated with Google Plus.
Yes, it is.
So if you have a Gmail account, you automatically,
pretty
much automatically have a Picasa account or a Google Plus account.
Yes.
And what I've noticed is if you have Google Plus installed on your iPad or Android, or if you're using it, you have access to those pictures that you upload onto Picasa.
Yeah.
It actually goes into Google Plus.
Yeah, so on your Google Plus, you will click on your photo icon, and then it'll show you all your different photo albums from Picasa as well.
Right, and so I guess what happens is once it's in up in the cloud, right? So it's on Google servers. Then you can access it either if you have an Android device, you can access it through the gallery. Or if you have an iPhone, you obviously don't have gallery, but you can use the Google Plus app. And from there, when you're out somewhere, as long as you have internet access, you can show somebody all of your pictures. So for me, I take a lot of pictures, and I have, I don't know, hundreds of albums. And so I can always show somebody an album that maybe from a photo that I've taken 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Wow.
And so it's pretty cool to be able to show somebody, and I don't have to bring a bunch of photos that I've printed.
Or store it on your phone.
Or it doesn't take up storage on my phone because it's just accessing it on the cloud.
It's sort of when you click on that album, then it'll download it all to your phone, and then you can show it off.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need that connection.
Yeah, as long as you're connected. One thing that I've noticed that some people have asked me is that they're worried that if they select the instant upload, that everybody's going to be able to see their picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry, that doesn't happen like that. All your instant uploads are private until you select to share it. So,
exactly. That's a really good point because a lot of people that I've talked to, they say, "Yeah, I don't want my pictures. I don't want anybody to be able to access my pictures."
So
but what you have to understand, it's like Jose saying, that's like saying, you know what, I don't want to do email because I don't want everybody to access my email. That's not.
Well, I think the concern is not so much as that, but like, oh, they take a photo, say they take a picture of themselves. A lot of people do that all the time. And if in the background it's uploading to Google Plus, and they don't want to think like, oh, on Google Plus it just created an album and it's public and everybody can see this photo. It's more like it's uploaded, but it's private. Yes. Only you can see it. So don't worry.
And it won't be seen by anyone until you
make it public. Yeah.
You know what? That's really, really actually a very good point because that's one thing that differentiates it from Apple's iCloud services. Because in Picasa, you have to actually check that button unless you have instant upload on Google Plus set. But if you import your photos into Picasa, you actually have to press that button to synchronize it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, those pictures won't go to the cloud. So what you're talking about instant upload is if you take a photo from your phone,
from my phone,
you can have it automatically upload it. It's private still until you choose to share it.
To me, that's one of the best features just because I take a lot of pictures with my iPhone or my iPad. And so when it's connected and I have instant upload on, when I go to my computer and I log on to Google Plus or Picasa, I see the photos there. I don't have to connect anything. It just appears because it's been uploaded already. So it's sort of that wireless sort of lifestyle. It's moving towards that way, and I like it. So I don't have to connect my phone to my computer.
It doesn't only upload the pictures from your desktop, it also does it from your phone. That way, if your phone breaks or anything happens to it, your pictures are saved.
Yep. I mean, I don't want to go too much into it, but I think that's awesome because not only is it a way for you to share your pictures, but it's also a backup.
Yeah.
If somebody takes your laptop and you have all your stuff on the cloud, okay, well, it sucks, but at least you have your pictures stored somewhere else. So it's like it's like a free backup.
Yeah.
They give you a certain amount of space for free.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the capacity because I was under the impression that it was extremely large, but from what I was reading, it's saying 1 gigabyte Although I think I've gone over it, and
Yeah.
Well, that's a good starter size for anybody, I think, and just to get started. And I know they changed their data
just recently,
pricing plans recently, ever since they Google Drive came out. So you can pay to have a lot more. It's very inexpensive.
Like $20 for a year.
Quite
Let
a
me
bit
see
of
if I can
memory.
find out.
I know I have an upgraded plan. You have an upgraded plan. And I think you have a grandfathered plan, so you have extra storage.
I don't know. I have tons of.
You probably have more than a gig, I'm sure.
Okay.
But yesterday when I was searching it, from the looks of it, it says one gigabyte of storage for free. After that, you pay for a plan.
Okay, so it says if this is for Google Drive. I believe it's probably the same
they share,
for Picasa, but they give you 5 gigs for free. One thing I've noticed,
and that's for all Google services. It's a shared thing, I think.
Right.
Minus Gmail.
Here's the thing: is that I think what you're finding out is that depending on the size of the photo, I remember they were trying to encourage people to put all their photos. If the photo size is below a certain size, they let you do unlimited.
Oh, I see.
And also for videos too, because it's just going to YouTube.
Yeah, you can do videos as well.
But if you want to upload full size, the entire, full resolution, then 25 gigs is $2.49 a month.
Wow.
Very cheap.
Definitely worth it.
100 gigabytes is $4.99 a month. 200 gigs is $9.99 a month. 400 gigs, $19.99, and it goes all the way up to 16 terabytes.
Wow, that sounds serious.
That's quite a bit of photos.
Cool. So I think it's a good app.
Yeah, I've used it all the time, and I have instant upload. I have synchronized on my laptop, and that's what I use for my pictures.
Yeah, that's how I manage all my photos also.
For the price is good too.
Yeah.
Free for the
and
app.
they're always updating it.
Yeah.
They're always adding new features to Picasa because, like you were saying, you can edit photos on the desktop application.
You can resize, make a collage, use Movie Maker, print, add tags, map photos.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool effects actually, kind of like Instagram.
Yeah, it does have effects.
There's a lot of cool effects that you can use.
Add text to it, and it's really neat. It's definitely worth downloading and playing with, I think.
It's actually, for me, there's a lot that you can do with it. I mean, it's not Photoshop, right?
No, it's not trying to be though.
It's not trying to be, but it's great for managing my photos. I can organize it very easily. I can share it. I find most of the time, all I want to do is crop it, maybe make it a little bit brighter.
Add some vignetting.
Change a few, tweak a few settings.
It's very simple. You just click and select what you want.
So I like it.
It's definitely an awesome program, and for free.
$3.99.
How about that collage that you made?
Oh yeah, did I do that through?
We made one of them on Picasa, and we printed it like real huge. Oh, cool. One of them you did manually.
Oh yeah, for my aunt I did through Picasa. Yeah, for her one of her monumental birthdays, we downloaded and scanned and got a whole bunch of photos and made a pretty big collage like that we framed and gave to her as a gift.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was pretty simple. You can choose where you want all the photos to go, replace them, because it'll do it random initially, and then you just sort of change it around the way you like it.
Well, you're forgetting the most important thing. The coolest thing about it was the faces.
Oh,
that made it really easy.
Face, yeah. So it went through all my whole library on my computer of photos that I had of her already, and so I had already tagged her as this is my aunt and this is her name, and so I just went into her face and then said take all these pictures and make a collage out of it. So any picture that had her in it was in the collage. That's cool. It was pretty neat and very simple to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice gift. Take it to. Cool. All right, I don't want to give our secrets away. All of our secrets.
Well, that's Picasa for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Jose.
Very awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Go Team Google.
Thank you.
That's awesome. All right. Let's see. So we're going down the line.
That's you.
All right. So we're going to switch gears a little bit here. We're not going to be talking about an app or a program or anything like that. But something that's super important, especially if you have a small business or you freelance or you perform services of any kind, or if you just kind of want a website. Something very important is that most everybody nowadays has a website, and especially for businesses, you have one, I have one. It's very important to have one, especially if you're a small business, just because it helps people find you.
Yeah.
If people, have you ever wanted to go somewhere or eat at a restaurant or something,
you look
it up?
Yeah.
Everybody looks it up online, either for reviews, what time do they close, or what kind of food do they have, or what kind of reviews.
I look up the menu.
Yeah, I try to look up the menu, and definitely hours, because I always like to go eat out late, and so if they're not open, I don't want to make the drive out there. But have you ever been more frustrated when you Google something or you search for something and nothing comes up?
Yeah.
Or only a Yelp ad comes up, or like a Yelp listing,
Yeah.
but the Yelp listing is incomplete.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what time do they close? And you don't know. And so you're missing out on customers that way, I think, because you're not giving them the information that they so need, that they're looking for. And so don't be alarmed and don't get scared when, because, you know, a website, people make it out to be this huge thing, that it's a really scary endeavor and that it takes months and months and that it's a very expensive thing. That's definitely true, but it's not always the case. For the most part, a lot of businesses and a lot of professionals, they don't need a huge website, say like Facebook, or they don't need the next social network. They don't have to have reservations on their website as soon as they launch. They don't need to have, you know, all these special funky features. They don't need any of that. Maybe you just need some photos of your business, your hours, you know, whatever's relevant. Do you have to sort of put yourself in your customer's shoes and think, what would they want when they're searching for me? And if they get to this page, let me see if I can answer all the questions, or all the basic questions that they would be asking in their head. You know, so all the just basic information. It doesn't have to be something crazy and, you know, super time consuming and super expensive. And I just want to make that a clear point, because it's not a scary thing to have a website. You can have a one-page website, and it can be more than enough for some people, you know, or a 1 to 5 page website, and you have more than enough information there. Then, you know, it's better to have something than nothing at all. Exactly. You know, you don't want to rely on a third-party service such as Yelp, or what's another one, Google Places, or, you know, might as well take ownership of it and create your own page that you can control the content of. You can update it whenever you want. And I think it's very important. And let's see.
Well, yeah, Yelp and Google Places is a good start. It's better than nothing.
It is. It's good to claim those listings.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of businesses that don't take the opportunity. On the very bottom, there might be a link that says, "Is this your business?" And then you can click it and register if you have to, and claim the listing. And that gives you, that goes into a whole other topic where you can respond to reviews and add more information and stuff like that.
But you're not in control of those. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yelp and Google, that's their property. Okay.
All right, so let's see. Take a look at my notes here. Yeah, so I think the main thing is that it's not, I just wanted to put across that it's not something that people need to be intimidated about. It's definitely something that, you know, if you just want sort of a reference landing page that answers the few basic questions that your customers will need to at least get in your door or give you a call or contact you somehow, you just want to be genuinely helpful in the information that you're providing. And you can do that in 1 to 5 pages, I think. You don't need, if you've ever been to the eGeniuses website, you know that there's quite a few pages. And that one did take months.
Right.
You know, that one did take months of time and effort, and because that was necessary for your type of business, but at the same time, it's not your first website.
That's the thing. So we built off the original site.
What version would you say that website is?
Maybe 4.
Maybe 4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah.
So this is maybe the 5th iteration of his website, and your very first website that I wasn't there, I didn't do. How big was that website?
It was like maybe 5 pages, and I did it myself.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty funny. But that's the thing. When you own the domain, so my website has changed, but the domain has always been e-geniuses.com.
Right.
So for me, it's important to own that name.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
That's one of the most important things.
And then build, you know, so there's probably some stuff on our website that use some of the original content. Maybe some
From
of the
way
text,
back when,
you know, some of the stuff that I wrote up.
It's never
there.
never thrown away. Whatever you start with, especially if you say, okay, I'm gonna dive in, I'm gonna do a 2-page website. You know, that's completely fine. And you write some content for it, stuff that you sit down and you say, okay, let me write down a little bit about me, about my business, what I do. That content can always be used as a foundation for the next iteration. Say you want to add 5 more pages, or say you want to add some new functionality or completely change the design of the website. You can always use the stuff that you worked on before. It's never lost, sort of thing. And your website, you have a lot of information on it too. And how many times have you changed yours?
I haven't updated it in a long
time. But since you've had it,
since I've had it, I've done it maybe 3 or 4 times.
Right, too, and so that's the benefit of a website is once you kind of get going, the easier it becomes, and you don't have to be scared about a website and what you put on it initially, because you can always change it. That's the beauty of it. It grows with you. It changes with you as your business grows or changes. Maybe you're gonna start offering something different than what you initially thought. You can change your website accordingly, and that's one thing that I think is really it's a living, breathing thing that you have to maintain, and you have to start somewhere. You gotta just go in and do it, and don't be dismayed by those people that they come to you and they say, well, it's not worth it if your website isn't completely custom designed, and you have to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in order to stand apart from your competitors. Nothing like that, because there are so many high quality templates out there, and if you choose a good web designer, they're going to check out your competition. They're going to look at what you need, what's best for your business, and they're going to be able to customize that template for you so that you do still stand out from the crowd. And with the web, it's so huge. I don't know if I ever even saw a website where they were directly competing that they were the same looking.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen a website that had that problem. And even I just can't say that I've ever seen 2 websites that look the same.
What you're saying before is that you don't have to have the best website in the world, and it depends from one company to the other, obviously.
On their needs.
Of course. So if you're one of those companies where it's all about image, then you probably need a really awesome website
high-end
just to start.
Design company, furniture design, or where design is your main focus, and maybe you want to put more of your efforts toward there. But that still doesn't mean I need to spend thousands of dollars. You can just go for it and put more effort into choosing a nicer, high-quality template than maybe you customize it a little bit more than, say, another business would if they're just offering, like, tax preparation services. They're not as focused on the design as, like, the Herman Miller type company would be. And so it's all dependent on your needs, and it's just...
And so for me, when you started off this whole thing, you were talking about how, how frustrating it is when you're looking for a particular product or service and you can't find it. For me, nowadays, it's not like a website is not like something that only a select few people have. Yeah. To me, if you don't have a website, it's like, what the heck? What is this business doing? Should I trust this business? They don't even have a website. That's like not having email.
Kind of true. Yeah. It makes you feel like maybe they don't care almost.
Like they didn't even take the time to make a website. They didn't even take the time to do that.
Yeah, it already sets the tone in your head about that business for not having a website. But then on that same token, if they do have a website and it doesn't work, maybe, or it doesn't
really
look
crappy.
Yeah, it doesn't look.
So you have to be completely honest with our people here.
Yeah,
so
you judge. Everybody judges, and for everybody that's watching, you can't say that you don't go to a website for a business and don't judge it based on the way the website looks.
Yeah.
Because sometimes maybe it looks great and it's not giving you any information. I'm going to still walk away frustrated.
Yeah. So what would you say? I'm going to put you on the spot and just say, what would you say to somebody who says, you know what, I would rather have no website than have a crappy website?
Yo.
Wow. Well, that's tough. I would just say, there's always that handful of people that when they're looking for you, you may have a crappy website, but at least they found you, and maybe they gave you a call or they came in. But on the same token, not having a website, you might lose out on all those people. But if you start with a crappy website, and I hate saying that, if you start with a crappy website,
I would say that
at least you can improve upon it.
I would say crappy website is probably better than no website, but keep in mind you don't have to spend a lot to have a decent website. Yeah, that's I think what your point in this whole
important.
Thing is that you don't have to spend a ton of money to have a good website.
Yeah,
just because you didn't spend a lot and maybe it's your first website and you're just starting off, it doesn't mean that you have to have a bad, crappy website. You
don't have to let all those people know that you just started yesterday, or that you're not that what's the proper word for it? But that you're not that tech savvy or something. But that's the thing is, if you find a really good web designer and they assess your needs. They look at your business. They look at your competition. They'll be able to find, like I said, there's tons of high quality templates out there, and I know everybody hates the word template, but there are professional designers that work on these templates, and they look fantastic. I don't know. I've seen tons of WordPress templates that look great, and I even use some of them too. So it's not a bad thing, you know.
Well, when we talk about it from a lean thinking point of view, where we say what you need is a minimum viable product, or in this case, a minimum viable website. So on one end of the spectrum, we have people that want, like, you know, they want to add all these bells and whistles to their website, and they don't even have an idea what the website should be.
Yeah.
They don't know what people are going to respond to. So in that case, they want to just throw money at the problem, and that's not the solution either. And then we have, on the opposite end of the spectrum, somebody who's not willing to invest any time, any money, any effort into making a good website, and they say, you know what, just put something up there where that's the person who's going to have a crappy website that's where people are going to go there and it's going to be like, okay, you know, I'm glad that they have something, but it's not very impressive.
Right.
We kind of steer away from those people too.
Yeah.
We'd say, you know what, let's invest a little bit of time, a decent amount of everything, and get you a good website and not spend too much. Yeah. And then if we decide that you need more, then we can add and build from there.
Exactly. So if you down the line you're like, wow, everybody's been asking me for a request an appointment form. You know, everybody's saying they want to do this on my website. Well, then we'll add it to the website. It's not a big deal. Or if you come back and you're saying nobody uses this form, I don't think it's necessary. I've asked my clients and my customers, you know, if they would use this or if they've ever even seen it and they don't like it, you know, remove it. You know, that's the beauty of it. It changes and it grows, and just start somewhere, I think.
So what would be the process? Let's say I have a business and I don't have a website, you know, what do I do?
I would say the first step is to just ask questions. Find somebody that will, well, that's the hardest part, finding somebody, I think. So look around. We obviously do websites here. Once you've found a good web designer that you trust, you have to really just sit down with them and find out what you need, because they have some expertise on the subject of building websites, obviously, if you've chosen the right company, and they'll be able to tell you, give you recommendations as far as your industry and your competition and what's appropriate and where you can just start. And after that, you know, you're going to get a little bit of homework. You know, you're going to have to but write up, if you haven't already, some info about your website. When you sit down with your web designer, they're going to say, okay, well, what's the goal for the website? And you guys got to work together and figure out, you know, those basic questions and the basic answers, and then just put it all together and just really work together. And like you said, it's all about communication when you're building a website.
I like what you said at first, where it seemed like you should find somebody you can trust first. I think that's like, you feel right away, can I work with this person? Because it's a project that you're working with them on.
Are they recommending me the right things, or are they saying this just to add to my invoice? Right. You know, that's the question. And we've worked with a lot of companies. Well, we've had meetings with a lot of companies where they've come to us and they've requested a bunch of things. And when we really sat down and said, okay, how is this going to benefit your business? They couldn't tell us, and we couldn't tell them. So it came to a pass where it's not good for your business. As much as we would have loved to, let's build something and charge you for it, we're not going to want to do that. It's not right. So we're not going to do it. And until you can come to us and we can have a good lengthy discussion about how it's going to benefit your business and it's worth that extra cost, we're not going to recommend or perform the service for you. You just have to find somebody that you trust, and then, you know, because you're putting a lot of faith in them to build you something good for your business.
I trust you.
Thanks. And as far as pricing goes for this type of sort of reference landing page, anywhere between 1 to 5 pages, I would say a good estimate of, especially if you're using a template and you're just going as far as customizing the template, you can expect to pay anywhere between $200 to $500. And that's very general. That's very general. Yeah. I'm saying 1 to 5 pages. Okay. You know, and you've both selected a template. Yeah. You know, that it just, you can customize a little bit. You know, so that's on the low end, but you can definitely get something good out of a $500 website.
For that price, to me, there's no excuse why a company shouldn't have a.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's the cost of
Yeah.
creating some business cards for some employees.
Yeah, it is.
So
For some people, it is. Yeah. And so you just got to think of it that way too. That takes it to another level. It's advertising. It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's new age, not new age, but whereas everyone just thought business cards and flyers, now you have to add to that list.
so skip
Website.
the yellow pages.
Yeah, you don't need
What
that.
is that?
Yelp is free. Google Places is free. Solicit your reviews there instead, and Foursquare too. So, yeah, don't do Yellow Pages.
Cool.
Don't pay them.
All right.
It's
Well,
not worth it.
stop talking bad about others. Yeah. All right. Well, cool.
Do you have a Yellow Pages listing?
No, I used to. I used to have yellow pages and super
Yeah.
pages. Gone.
Oh man.
I mean, they didn't do anything.
I don't think I've seen one of those books in like a long time.
They pass them out and then they go immediately to the trash.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Website instead.
But yeah, if you're interested in talking to us more about that kind of stuff, you can always find out more at our website e-geniuses.com, because we do websites as well, and we could help you if you wanted our expertise on it. But if not, find someone local in your area, and definitely, if you have to, interview a bunch of people.
And you have a specific website for the web design part of our business,
Yeah, and
right?
we can add it in the description below. It's houseofruxpin.com. So we'll put a link in the description box below.
Yes. Okay.
Last
Thank you.
one.
All right. So the last thing that I want to talk about is the new Microsoft Surface, and I thought that it was very interesting that Microsoft has really changed the way that they are planning to do business. Their name is Microsoft, soft for software, right?
Yeah.
So they made their billions by making software. And Apple has always been known to be the company that makes the hardware and software, right? And so that's why their products are so great, because they make the software work for that specific hardware. Now, the thing about this new announcement about the Microsoft Surface is that Microsoft is going to be making the hardware. So that's very interesting to me. And if you've seen the device, we'll try to post some pictures about it. But it's very interesting in that it looks like immediately, just by looking at it, it looks like it's supposed to compete with the iPad. Okay? And obviously, iPad is the number one maker of the tablet category, right? So Android has been trying to make their tablets, but no way can they touch iPad in that particular category. And so I think Microsoft is taking a slightly different approach in that they're not saying, hey, you know what, we're going to beat the iPad at its own game. No, I think what they're trying to do is they're looking at the market and they're saying, you know what, people are buying less and less, fewer and fewer desktops, because instead they're buying a very powerful laptop. Okay, so I'm looking at my laptop right now, and the specs on this will totally annihilate my computer from a few years ago. Right? It has more disk space, a faster processor, more RAM, more everything. And when I want to use this for a desktop, all I have to do is plug in my mouse and keyboard, connect this to my 27-inch display, and boom, I have a desktop computer.
Best of both worlds.
Right. So what's the purpose of the desktop now, right?
Yeah, it's definitely losing its place, I think.
Right, and that's to be debated.
Professionals.
For professionals, I'm gonna describe both sides of it. But so that's one part, right? So I have my laptop. Now we always want something better, something lighter and thinner and cooler looking.
Just like humans.
And so the thing about this computer here is I have my iPad, right, which is cool because I love being able to swipe and touch the display, do all that, and I can't do that with my laptop. I think what Microsoft is saying is, what if we could just take this, right, and instead of this piece here, why don't we just make this a keyboard, right? And so that's what they've done. They've made this part that usually covers the screen, they've made that an actual keyboard, and they have different choices of keyboards that you can use. It actually has a touchpad also. They have two versions of their tablet. one that's just mainly it's for, I guess, light usage, I would say.
More the tablet.
More for yeah,
section.
exactly. And the one that's interesting to me is the one that they call, I think it's called something professional,
Yeah, the professional.
and it actually runs a
one I
full
want.
version
yeah,
of
I want
Windows
that one
8.
too.
Right? So I thought it was crazy. It runs a full version of Windows 8. You can run
yeah.
the tablet specific apps called Metro. You know, that's the name of their interface.
The specs on that one are very good.
Right. The specs on it are faster than my current laptop right now.
Yeah.
So it has a faster
Imagine
processor.
a
The hard drive
tablet.
is faster. It has enough RAM. It has a USB port. It has HDMI, so I can connect it to my 27-inch screen. So it makes me think, well, why don't I just trade this laptop for
that tablet.
For the tablet.
Or actually trade both.
Well, I don't know about that.
But that's what they're hoping.
They're like,
I'll get it.
Maybe that's what they're hoping, though.
I'll get into that in a second. Yeah, of course, that's what they're
Yeah.
thinking might happen. Right?
He looked at me like I was crazy.
So here's the thing, right?
talking about Windows.
I really believe that they're trying to push for some kind of convergence of the tablet, laptop, computer, right? They're wiping out it's getting smaller and smaller, and eventually, if they can figure out a way to make a cell phone,
Oh man!
right? What's the difference between an iPhone and an iPad?
What is the one
screen size.
that the Acer or Asus where
Yep.
you put it
Oh, yeah.
into the screen, I believe,
Yeah, there is
and it
a-
has a keyboard and it functions like a laptop.
Yeah,
Is
there's-
it the Transformer?
I don't
Yeah,
know
there is. I
you
think
put
it
the
was.
phone in the back of the tablet,
Mm-hmm.
connect somehow, you close the lid, and
It looks like a little laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. I mean, I'm just wondering if that's what people really want.
If it's good enough spec wise.
Mm-hmm. So here's I was thinking that the things that it's definitely going to need is if they're eventually going to go towards a phone model, which they announced some sort of phone that
Yeah.
runs Windows 8 also.
Yesterday, yeah.
If they're going that direction, then they need to find a way to make that into a bigger screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it has to have it has to be powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It has to have good battery life, right?
Mhm.
Very portable, very easy to use. So by easy to use, I mean I want a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
You know, I'm used or trackpad.
Yeah.
I'm used to that. And a way to like I was saying, a way to make it so that it goes to a bigger screen.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I'm thinking, right? Do people really want convergence? Would you want a phone that is your everything? So your phone, you put it into this thing, it becomes your
That's a good
laptop,
question.
and then a call comes in and it
You
just
gotta
shows.
like take it out,
Be like this.
or just be like, "Hello."
No, well, I guess what would happen is it would show up on your
It
screen,
would just be a speaker,
Yeah.
and
Right.
you could have headphones or
Yeah.
something.
and then you'd talk, continue talking, and continue
Yeah.
working, right? Kind of makes sense.
It's just like Skype or anything like it.
And you know from there they're gonna want to try to be like, oh, okay, this is your media center too. Now it just
Yeah.
goes to a bigger screen, which is your TV.
These are what I call lofty goals
Yeah.
from Microsoft. It's not unheard of, and I feel like eventually we are definitely going to be moving that way because
Yeah.
the biggest thing with technology is that a lot of people always say, I hate carrying around all these gadgets and all these devices. When you have to think, do you really hate it? Do you really hate having a separate phone and laptop or a separate phone and tablet? And so if it all merged into one device, do you think people are going to stop complaining? Or do you think they're just going to complain that,
More.
oh, this doesn't work as well as
Mhm.
my iPhone used to, or my Windows 8 phone used to when it was just a phone? Because then you're sort of combining it all and hoping that it just doesn't turn into a jack of all trades, master at none.
Yeah.
So it's that same. There's a caveat to both.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say too. Is like, do you want all of these devices to be one? You know,
What about, do you?
I don't know.
I don't know that I kind of like having separate devices. And in my mind, I know that this is pretty much just my phone. You know, I know what this is supposed to do. I know my iPad has, and this is where Microsoft and Apple's strategies differ. I think Apple really does want you to have a different device for different purposes. They want you to have. Okay,
Well,
so
that's more
here's
money in their pocket.
Yeah,
you have
of
to think
course.
of that first.
they're selling more hardware.
yeah,
right?
they're still a business.
So-
They're just not out there helping people, but they are still a business.
If you're a professional, what do you use? A professional, you do video editing, photo editing. you're going to use a Mac Pro desktop.
Yes.
With your cinema display.
Yes.
Right? And then if you are semi-pro, then you're probably going to use an iMac, something like that.
Yeah.
Or if you're a home
really
user.
Spec'd out like MacBook Pro.
Yeah, MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
They have something specific for
every
each type
level
of user.
User.
Right? And they would like for you to have different ones for different purposes. They want you to have a Mac Mini in one of your extra rooms.
Yeah.
And then in your bedroom, they want you to have an Apple TV. And then they want you to have an iPhone.
And then a MacBook Air for when you travel.
Yeah. And then an iPad.
Yeah.
And iPad is just for playing games and having
content
fun.
consumption.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not for work.
Yeah.
Right? So they're going the opposite direction where they want you to have specific devices for different purposes.
And I think part of that is also just so that, say, there is an all-in-one device. If there was an all-in-one device, imagine the cost.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be expensive because it's supposed to replace all of these devices. Whereas if you look at Apple's model right now, you can say, I can only afford this tablet right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't yet afford a MacBook Pro, but I can get in at this level.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can't afford a Mac Pro, but I can afford a MacBook Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to come in at this level. And so it's something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
They even have iPod Nanos all the way down to $59, $49 nowadays. Okay. So everybody has a little bit of that Apple pie.
Yeah. I guess, I was thinking that in my mind, the idea of all the stuff converging, all my devices converging into one, sounds like a good idea. In my mind, it sounds like a good idea. And in theory, it is a good idea.
Yeah.
But I think, for me, I can only speak for myself, I like having separate devices. I like, just for an example, when it comes to cameras, right? I have my camera that I use, a Leica camera that's just for photos. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even do video.
Yeah.
Right? And then we have that camera that you're watching us on that does photos and video, but I only use it for video. Yeah. Right? And then I have this small camera, and this is just for when we're going and I don't want to carry a big camera.
And it does a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I can't really see this replacing, let's say if I had a camera like this, they could take the same quality of pictures of my Leica, never happened, and the same quality of video and that won't happen either, because of, certain restrictions, right? Physical restrictions. But each one has its own place.
Right.
Its own purpose and the thing that it does very well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't think that any one of the devices is going to replace the other. And that's how I kind of feel about a tablet. Something like this without a keyboard kind of makes it cool because I know that I'm not going to work with this.
Yeah, you create that separation of work and play.
In my mind, exactly.
Whereas when you log on to this, okay, I'm going to get something done right now.
I might get something done. I might just use it to browse the web. But I know when I go to my desktop, that's just for work. Mm-hmm. It's a workstation. That's all I'm going to do on it.
Right.
So it's kind of like having different rooms in your house, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you have a separation,
bedroom,
mental separation.
Sleep, office, work, living room, hang out.
So
I'll be in the kitchen.
Eating.
That's the reason I go to the gym. I can't
have a home
work.
gym.
Yeah, I can't, because I need to go out to a place where all I do is work out.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel about some of my gadgets, some of my electronic devices. Like, when I go here, I want to know that I'm only doing a specific task.
I just think that the difference between the phone and the tablet, that one's not as far-fetched to me as phone to laptop or a phone to any other type of real computer. Real computer. People are going to kill me for that one. But, just because, say, if I had this cool little screen that was exactly like this, but I could put my iPhone in here. And I just lock it in here, and I'm kind of like, oh, all the apps that I have, I have a separate page for all my fun apps for my iPad are there. But at the same time, it has other useful apps that I use on my phone or something. And if I need to use my phone, I'll just
What if it's wireless? What if it shoots everything over there, and you just keep your phone in your pocket?
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be awesome.
And you could still answer. Yeah,
that would be cool still. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm okay with it going as far as, my phone is my laptop too. Like, I just pop it in here and it's my laptop and all that kind of stuff. I think it just needs to, I have to see where it's going. So I have to see where Microsoft's going, because I'm very tempted
Yeah.
by
I
that
wanna try it.
professional one.
Yes, me too.
It's just the pricing is scary.
They
They
haven't
haven't
even
announced the pricing, and when they don't announce pricing,
Yeah,
that's not a good sign. I don't think it is.
They say comparable to like an ultrabook, so
Ultrabook.
maybe 1,000 to
Ultrabooks are about
1,300.
$1,300, $1,399.
It's an expensive tablet
Yeah,
if
but
it's only a tablet.
imagine how killer those specs are versus an ultrabook.
Yeah.
So
I guess the question is it's gonna be able to supposedly do a lot of things? Is it gonna do all of those things extremely well?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's what's most important to me.
Yeah.
Put it to the test.
Because
Yeah.
if there ever came a day, and I'm sure there will be one of these days, that a device did come out and it killed all your other devices, and it was just like the all-in-one.
It's gonna be like Iron Man.
Yeah, the
Jarvis!
Iron Man phone. You know, that'll be amazing when
When does that happen? When does that happen? Is our phone does 1080,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It takes very good photos.
Uh-huh.
Talking about mine is a Galaxy S2 and it does 1080, very good photos, nice screen. What has it replaced? I'm trying to think. Also.
I don't know.
I don't think it's replaced anything.
Well, for the iPhone, it's replaced a lot of people's camera. Because
Yeah.
they say the best camera is the one you have with you.
I see
And what
that.
do you always
Yeah.
have with you? Your iPhone.
I do see less and less, fewer and fewer people
Point
with
and shoot.
with a smaller
Yeah,
camera like
point and
this.
shoot.
I don't use mine anymore.
Yeah, that was the one that
I
I
had-
use, and I don't ever really want to take it out anymore.
Yeah.
Recently, I used it and I had to go searching for the charger. Cause where is this thing?
You used to use it a lot before you had
Yeah.
your new phone. I
Yeah.
remember. Remember?
Before, yeah.
Yep. Well, that's pretty much it. That's
We could go
We got-
for days
we
on
could
that
go for
one
days,
on
but,
Convergence.
we're talking about Convergence, Microsoft Surface. I think that's the play that they're trying to go for. And so, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
And let us know what your input is, whether you agree or disagree. And if you like our video, make sure to like us and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah.
Bye.
Bye.